Okay, in this video today I'm going to talk about handstands and my personal opinion on how to achieve a handstand, my steps that I took to achieve a handstand, what worked for me and what didn't work for me, and you can take points from this as you like. Some things will resonate with some people and some things won't, but either way this is my personal opinion on it and what I did to achieve it. So first of all, what I believe to be the handstand, and you've got it, is a good strong 30-second hold. Okay, so some people don't know, but when I first started, I can't do a handstand on the floor. I've got no mobility in my wrist. I broke it when I was a child, and therefore I can't do handstands on the floor. I had to use parallels, parallettes and parallel bars, but I didn't start with them. I started with push-up bars. So what I would do, again, I'm trying to be as quick as I possibly can to explain this. What I used to do was I used to put the push-up bars next to the wall, and what I would do in the very beginning is I would kick up against the wall on my small push-up bars, and I would go for a maximum hold, and I would see what my time was. Okay? Now, for some of you that can already get over 10 seconds, then that's brilliant. Kaz, I know you're getting 20 seconds because I asked you earlier. So that's amazing. That's like a great place to start from. It's brilliant. So for people who can't yet hold 10 seconds on parallels, or whether it's the floor. Now if you're doing it on the floor, you just got to make sure that you're doing your triangle, which means your head, I'll use this beer bowl, your head's going to be there, your hands are going to be here, like a headstand. You go up into a headstand. That's the sort of positioning that you want to be thinking about for when you're doing your handstand. Okay, so for those that can't get 10 seconds, the tips that I would say to you is to either, if you're doing it on your hands, kick up against the wall. Now the main thing is you've got to be consistent. You've got to be consistent. You can't just do it once in a day and then, 3 times a week. No, you've got to be consistent when you're first starting out. So when I first was maxing out, I could do 10 seconds because I was always quite fit and I've always done weights on and off through my life, so it wasn't really an issue for me to get up against the wall and get that 10 seconds, but for some people it is. So if you can't get 10 seconds, what I would suggest is you do it in the morning. As soon as you get up in the morning and you're ready, find a wall, either if you've got parallels or you can just do it on the floor, whatever, jump up against the wall, max hold, see what your time is, jot it down. Say you're getting 6 seconds, then you wait for 2 minutes, you do it again, jot your time down, wait for 2 minutes, do it again, jot your time down. Now you do this morning, midday, afternoon. Next day you don't do nothing. The next day you do the same, and so on and so forth until you get to past 10 seconds. Once you pass 10 seconds, then what I would do, and what I did, is I would kick up against the wall, and I would bring one foot off until the other foot's just off the wall, and I'd try and hold it for 5 seconds. Now don't forget, when you're using parallels, if you're falling towards the wall, you're pushing this way. If you're falling away from the wall, you're doing the opposite. Your wrists are constantly moving basically while you're in a handstand. That's what a lot of people starting out the handstand don't really understand. So when they go up into a handstand, they're just rigid and they try and just get that balance and stay rigid. You can't. Your wrists are going to be moving constantly, whether you're doing it on the floor or whether you're doing it on the parallel bars. That's how you keep yourself balanced. But what I did was I would kick up against the wall, I would try and get 5 second hold. Now, I would do this religiously, again, like I say, consistent, morning, midday, afternoon. I'd keep doing it until eventually I got up and I would get 5 seconds. Then I'd wait for 2 minutes or however long, doesn't really matter, 2 minutes to 5 minutes, whatever. Then I'd do it again. If I got 5 seconds again, brilliant, I would do it 5 times. And out of that 5 times, if I managed to get 5 seconds, 4 out of the 5, boom, guess what? Now you're going to 10 seconds. So then I would do the same routines again, be consistent, until I managed to get 10 seconds. Once I got 10 seconds, again, then I would do 4 out of the 5. So if I managed to get 10 seconds 4 out of the 5 times, then guess what? I go to 15 seconds, and so on and so forth until I got to 30 seconds. And then once I got to 30 seconds, that's when I personally believe you've got the handstand. If you can hold a handstand for 30 seconds, then you've got the handstand, that's it. That was in my personal opinion. Some will say less, well, whatever, it's, you know, it's personal preference, personal, you know, experiences. But in my experience, that's what it was. Now, again, like I say, when you're trying to find the balance, don't worry about keeping yourself straight too much. Now, you know, some people, they might message up, they go mad. Oh, it needs to be, the technique needs to be straight, you need to be straight, you need to do this, you need to do that. Now you can knock out the straightness as you get better, right? And then you'll start to understand, or you'll start to record yourself and you'll start to think, oh, I'm bent there. And then you'll start to adjust yourself. Slowly and surely, you'll then adjust yourself to straight. When I used to get the handstand 20 seconds, 25 seconds, up to the 30 second, my handstand would be bent. So my handstand would be like this. It'd be bending like that. You see how I'm bent? It'd be bending like that. But now, since I've carried on and you know, I've made adjustments, now I can consciously go up, and if I know that I'm bending, I can straighten myself by basically doing, so it's like there, then I know that I'm roughly sort of straight. Put my head down a bit, and there you go. But that'll come in time. When you're first starting out the handstands and you're doing it, forget it, don't worry about being straight. Don't worry about the naysayers that say that's not a proper handstand, you're bent. Somebody's always got something to say on whatever you're doing at any given time. That's not straight, that's not this, that's not that. Who cares? Just carry on the grind, carry on doing it, and eventually you'll straighten yourself out. But in my opinion, 30 seconds is what you're aiming for. So the steps, again, just to summarise it, is if you can't get 10 seconds, be consistent, morning, midday, afternoon. At least 3 times in the morning, 3 times midday, 3 times afternoon. Every single day, right? You give yourself 2 days off a week, every single day, till you get to 10 seconds, right? Once you've got to 10 seconds, then you're doing the 5 second and you're balancing off the wall. If you're falling forward, you're pushing this way. If you're on parallels, you're doing that. If you're falling back, you're doing this. If you're on the floor, you're using your palms of your hand to keep that balance. Don't forget, your hands are constantly moving until you're entwined with your body, and you'll automatically adjust without even thinking about it, like riding a bike. I don't want to talk too long. I'm already on like 9 minutes and 15 seconds. So I just hope that some of them tips there really helped me to get the handstand. But again, I was consistent, and I mean morning, midday, afternoon. Anytime I could get up against a wall, I would do it. Anytime when I could try and do a freestanding handstand, I would do it all the time. So don't just think, oh, I'm going to train my handstand twice a week and in a month, a miracle, you're going to be able to do your handstand. You won't be able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it unless you're consistent in the start. Once you've got the handstand, you don't have to be consistent anymore. Like, you know, you just have to keep it up to not lose it, I guess, you know, really. Eventually you would lose it. I used to do gymnastics when I was a kid, and I couldn't do handstands on the floor once I broke my wrist. And then, you know, it still took me time to learn the handstand on the powerlets. I had to, it was a whole starting again business. So yeah, so hopefully you can take some of them tips away with you, and good luck. And I hope that, you know, I've not gone on too much. It already is probably, because it's like 10 minutes and 30 seconds. But keep the grind, keep grinding, and boom, go and get it. Peace and love always.